We continue our Managing Your Supply Chain series, and our next topic involves raw material options. The type of raw material used for your projects as it ramps into full production is rarely the same form of raw material you use at the outset. Since we're both a vendor to some companies and a customer to others, we deal with both sides of this raw material equation, and we've seen the project lifecycle play out with a wide variety of products. This week we'll pose 3 questions for you to consider regarding raw materials and the potential for it to change over the life cycle of your projects. How do you determine the best raw material to use for your project startup? One of the key factors that you need to consider when you're starting a new project is what form of raw material will be the most cost-effective, quickest, and easiest path to get to market. Getting samples produced that can be used to verify market demand is an important first step. Typically, the initial samples cost significantly more per part than the production parts will, but the small number produced is just to validate the design and establish market fit. The more cost-effective you can produce the early samples, the quicker you can get market feedback to see which projects have the most potential in the marketplace. Is your initial production quantity enough to justify getting creative with your raw material? After getting market feedback and determining your production is viable in the marketplace, you'll commit to an initial production run. There are several key factors that you'll use to determine your method of production and the associated raw material. Initial production quantity. Based on your samples for your market research and your confidence that you can sell them, how many are you willing to make? Typically, the more you can make that you know you can sell, the lower your cost per piece to produce. Product geometry. Sometimes you might be limited on your options based on the nature of the part. It is possible that the part shape will drive the production equation more than other factors. Tooling cost. Outside of off-the-shelf raw materials, a tooling cost is often part of the net shape raw material equation. Understanding the upfront investment needed to kick the project off will factor into your decision making, and of course budget. In some cases there's a separate budget for tooling. Having dollars set aside for that purpose can be helpful, but care should be taken to prevent overspending simply because the allocation is from a different bucket. Full-scale production. When do net shape raw material options come into play? Even as your team is optimizing the product based on market feedback, you know that taking advantage of a successful product includes reducing the product cost. For many products, net shape raw materials can be part of that equation. Injection molding, casting, forging, extruding, and other net shape raw material forms typically have front-end costs associated with them, but using the right process for the part material and geometry will pay off if the volume is realized. Selecting and managing the type of raw materials you use for your project over its life cycle is an integral part of the success you want to achieve. Cost-effectively getting your product to market to verify demand starts the process. Managing the product over its life cycle and including appropriate net shape raw material options can help you meet market demands without overproducing. In part 7 of our Managing Your Supply Chain Success series, we'll discuss first article production samples and how they can impact your product launch process.